Gav Mack Steven Cotton, big man, little man, two up top. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your pals, tell all your friends, hit that notification bell. It's the Premier League review show, even though we're just in Bundesliga attire.
Completely unintentional as well. We both haven't communicated, both. I didn't really feel like I needed to wear a United shirt today, or kind of wanted to, so it was just. And even though Frankfurt lost yesterday as well, which was great, so everyone and Roma just lost. I don't know, but Roma just lost 3-2 to Cagliari as well. So everyone all round.
I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know who they lost against.
Leverkusen. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Again, that wasn't even. Well, there we go. There we go.
Didn't even know, man.
Look who scored for Frankfurt, though.
Anyway, what we've just seen today is the League Cup final. It was Tottenham versus Manchester City. So then there's only one thing that we could do then. Hold your ears.
RIP headphone users.
Indeed, Manchester City 1, Tottenham 0. Now, I'm not going to be a typical gooner and start bagging on Spurs. I really am not. Let's talk about the game as a whole and the approach of the game. Because let's start with this. Who thought that Harry Kane would be starting this game?
I said to Stu, when Stu was, my friend Stu was getting really antsy about the lineup. So I was like, don't worry about it, mate. I was like, he starts. I was like, at least he'll be on the bench, because I thought there'd have been way more hype and rumours that he wasn't starting if he wasn't starting. Do you know what I mean? I think it would have been absolutely massive, Kane has arrived and he's not starting, or he's not in gear and stuff. So I wasn't that surprised, but I know it's not Kane's fault, but did it really matter in the end? I honestly, I don't want to say bless him, it's a bit condescending, but I feel sorry for him, man. He could barely get a touch on the ball, and that wasn't even Spurs' fault today. City were just different gravy from minute one. They looked like, when they went 1-0 down against Villa, and it was all hands on deck. Steven Seagal under siege 2. It was. Today, this game was under siege 2. It was the second time this week, because they were just at it from minute one, man. And it was just I'm not surprised that Kane really didn't get too much touches the ball or get to go anywhere with it.
Well, look, Spurs might think they'll be losing one of the best strikers in the world right now, but there's an argument he might be one of the best CDMs in world football right now.
Yeah.
He was so deep. I know he wants to get involved and win the ball and try and influence movement going forward in that, but they need him up there. And Højbjerg, I thought Højbjerg had a really good game. Shock.
Same.
Regular occurrence, let's be real. And Spurs fans, including me as an Arsenal fan as well, will dig on Sissoko a little bit because he's just a bit of a headless chicken. But a game like today could have done with him. Could have had him and Højbjerg in the midfield too, and then think about their front four. I think that would have helped their cause a little bit more. Needed legs.
I probably might get shot down for this, but I really don't rate Winks at all. I think he's a bit Mark Noble Brexit FC midfielder. I kind of don't see what he offers, defensively or going forward too much. I don't really see it. So it probably wouldn't have been too much of an ask to start with Ndombele or Sissoko. I'll tell you who.
Any Spurs fans that are knocking around in the comments, by the way, throw your £2 worth in, because we want to know your opinion as well, really, about this game as a whole and what Cotton just said there about Harry Winks. Because if I'm honest, I'm with you. He's one of those players that I want to like because he's young, he's English. I like seeing young English players come through and make a name for themselves and do whatever. But he's not that young anymore, really and truly. Was he 24 now? And he hasn't really,
kicked
eaten into. No, he hasn't. And this is what I worry for Ollie Skip for Spurs as well, because I look at Ollie Skip as a technically gifted version of Harry Winks.
Yeah.
But are they going to look at him in the same vein and send him out on loan again? Are they going to, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, there'll be a few promoted teams that will be keeping an eye on that situation as well. But yeah, I'll tell you who I thought Lucas Moura had a really good game as well. I thought he was a bit unlucky to be subbed, but it was like that was the only sort of option that they could go with. Yeah, I mean there was a few little talking points in the first half. Obviously it was 0-0 until the very last dying embers of the game.
Yeah, who scored it?
He's Eric Laporte.
I'm Eric. But why was Eric allowed to bag?
Because he was still on the pitch. But I said this at the time, yeah, Martin Tyler said this with about 3 minutes to go. But if he was already on a yellow, he wouldn't make the second very cynical challenge in the middle of the pitch. Like, he'd put his hands up, let him go past him. It's middle of the pitch. Diaz and that lot were back there. That it had been covered. But because he knew he hadn't been given the yellow, he was like, right, I'm just gonna bring him down. But there's no way he makes that. There's no way a player of his caliber and his mentality makes that cynical challenge when he's already on a yellow. So I mean, you can feel aggrieved, but I don't think there's too much to be aggrieved about, really.
There's one tackle that went in. I think it was Ruben Diaz who made the tackle on Kane. It's probably one of the best tackles you will ever see. It is that is the prime example of how to tackle if you are coming from behind, so to speak. He's won the ball clean. It's nice, and he got the other card for it.
Side on than behind, man. I thought he came in almost diagonal, like he came in from behind a little bit, but from the side, won the ball. You could see that the ref did say to the players that surrounded him, he was like, he literally motioned. He was like, from behind, can't come from behind. So if that's how he's interpreted it, then okay. But if that's how he's interpreted, where's the yellow card for that?
Did he not get a booking? I thought he did get a booking.
No. I'm pretty sure he didn't. I could be completely wrong there, but let me check. I don't think he got booked for that. Which was kind of the theme for that game, was the inconsistencies in some of the decisions. Not just cards, but free kicks awarded or not awarded.
Not awarded in particular, because Harry Kane did the same thing again, where he loves backing in. He did he did a couple today, one in particular on the halfway line, and nothing came of it. And that could have caused an injury. He does it all the damn time, and it winds me up something chronic. Erhan, he's along with Stu, is a regular in the comments here, which we absolutely love. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in and commenting. And he's also a Spurs fan, just like Stu. And he says that Kane was a no-show for the third time in a final. Man of the match was Lloris, and that says something. Now, I think I'm going to go with you again, Cotton, on this one, because I think Lucas Moura was the man of the match for me for Spurs. I thought he was the best player on the pitch, and because Man City had a lot of opportunities, but not many on target. But the ones that were saved were very good saves. I will give him that.
Do you know what? Completely what I usually have seen of Lloris or think of Lloris. There was that one save where he just got like a concrete. It was a Mahrez one that was more down the middle, was going bottom corner, and Lloris got like a concrete wrist, and it just bounced off him. And normally he's pretty known for crisp packet wrist, but that was like, do you remember the old Champions League ad with the Continental tires and Timo Hildebrand just catches the ball? It kind of reminded me of that. But Lloris had a really good game. To be fair, yeah, and I don't want this to sound patronising to Spurs at all. It's Man City, man. They're on a tear up. Like, I'm going to defend Kane. Yeah, he didn't do much, but what could he do? Like, I was chatting in the WhatsApp group with the lads, right, and they had cards and this, that, and the other, and needed Fernandinho and stuff. And at one point, about 30 minutes in, I said, boys, we're not going to get any City bookings because Spurs are going to need to have the ball for that to happen. like City were just so ridiculous. I mean, you look at the average position maps for both halves. Look at the possession. Look at the action areas. What can Kane do? Like you said, look, he was coming. At times he was playing left back trying to win the ball. Like, and that isn't. I can't really fault any Spurs performances today. I genuinely just think that City at the minute are just such a ridiculous juggernaut. Like, City's managed to press you even when they've got the ball, and I don't know really know. Do you know what I mean? I can't really explain it, but even when they've got the ball, they seem to just be like, it's mental. And fair play to City, because it's another League Cup in a row. It's another trophy for Pep. I mean, when they showed the stats before the game of Pep's, what was it, 14 cup finals, and he's lost one. It was like, come on. And I do want to have a little dig out Sky Sports. I don't know if it was a bit of banter or
what from Martin Tyler. Formidable.
No, not even just that. It was just like anything Martin Tyler says winds me up. It was they did the thing, and it was like matches, Guardiola 684, trophies 708 or whatever he's won, and then it was like Ryan Mason games 2. It's like, you don't. Like, I thought
you don't need to do that.
I thought it was a bit dry, man. I think they were trying to be a bit light-hearted with it and show like the golf in management in a cup final. But it was like, come on, like, I didn't think that was needed.
Before we move, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, genuinely, I genuinely think that Tottenham gave a good account of themselves, man. Like, let's all be real. We all thought this was cricket score. We all thought 3-4-5-0. There was some heroic defending from Spurs today. Like, I genuinely thought the back four. Even Aurier had a good game until he switched off.
Did have a good game
towards the end. But Spurs, honestly, I know it's not. It doesn't win you a trophy, but I think the Spurs fans can take solace in the fact that they were good today. They didn't get ridiculously pumped by an outrageous City team. They lost 1-0 to a set piece in the 80-something minute. Like, it wasn't the end of the world.
Before we move on, I just wanted to read a couple of these comments out. Stu, the other resident Spurs fan, thanks very much for watching, and thanks for your comments as well. Lloris's quality today. Toby and Dyer did well. Dyer did do well, actually, to be fair, for 75% of the game. Yeah, it's very rare you get those words out of my mouth. Lucas was the only player that trying to move the ball forward. Kane was just shut out. Great player, but he's one player. He's human like the rest of us. And it winds me up as well because, like the Champions League final as well, I honestly think that Spurs would have stood a better opportunity if Kane didn't play. It's like he's rushed him back to get him fit. I know he's a talisman and that sort of stuff, but I just think sometimes too much pressure is put on him. But Simon reckons that Kane is the most overrated player in the Premier League and is wasted at an average club with no aspects of going forward. Kane out. Now, Spurs are only a couple of points off top 4. So as an Arsenal fan, I'll dig him out constantly. But as a analyst of football, they're up there and they are ready to pounce.
Do you want me to let you in on a little secret? So obviously, Simon and Stu have known each other for 700 years. So I think Simon's just having a little bit of a friendly nibble. Harry Kane, is that pretty much the last we'll see of him in a Spurs shirt? I know we speak about it every other week, and Spurs fans probably get sick of hearing about us. Well, everyone's talking about is Kane going. But is that it now?
If Spurs keep hold of Harry Kane, fair play to him. That's all I'm going to say. Is fair play to him because there is no reason, unless he wants to go down as a club legend and wants to, he wants to try and fight, then stay. And I won't dig him out for that. I'll actually probably commend him for that as well, because there's not enough or any loyalty in football nowadays. So if he wants to stay loyal by them and try and push them into the right direction, then hats off to him. But personally, I think it's a wrong idea. It's a dumb idea.
Yeah, I personally think he'll go in the summer. I think this summer there's going to be, because of COVID and everything for the last 18 months or whatever it's been now, 14 months. I'm just rounding up. I genuinely think there'll be a bit of a reset on transfer fees and funds, because obviously everyone's a little bit hard up at the minute. Obviously, I know whoever buys Kane will be dealing with Levy, so that's not going to be an easy situation. But it'd be interesting to see the money that he goes for. Now, I was speaking to Stu earlier, obviously Spurs fan, and he thinks even if Kane kind of wants out, and he said if they don't get Champions League, he thinks it might be triple figures.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's minimum 120.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's a world-class striker. He's the second best striker in the world. Third best striker in the world. The only thing that would really push that along, number 1 Lewandowski, number 2 Wout Weghorst.
If Kane does come out and say that he genuinely does want to leave, not so much hands in a transfer request, but he's like, come on boys, thanks, but I'm bouncing. Then that does put Levy in a different position where, not that he has to sell, but that would you want a player like that is want away and
of his stature as well? It's not like his. I mean, he's Eric Dyer who wants to leave and then he'll have a moan. Who cares about that? If it's your talisman, your main guy, and he wants to leave and you don't let him go, that is going to stink out the whole club.
I just said he's Mr. Tottenham now. Insert picture of Harry Kane wearing an Arsenal shirt here. But yeah, so literally final word on the City Spurs thing. Congratulations to City, another trophy, absolute juggernauts at the minute. It's just when will it end? And again, Tottenham, I think they did themselves Again, I don't want it to sound patronised. I think they did themselves proud and can hold their heads up high after that. They didn't get pasted. They gave a real good account of themselves.
Definitely. Right then. Leeds 0, Manchester United 0. After the first game against these two sides, there was a lot of expectation on these two. And also Leeds have just picked up a point against Liverpool at home on Monday. They're playing against another of the top 6 clubs. All the furore going on around that. This game was very difficult to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly great, was it? I mean, to begin with, it was a bit of a not so much a boring. Well, it was a boring game to begin with, but it was more of like a stalemate. It was two teams that were cancelling each other out. Calvin Phillips had like an unreal game, kept Bruno pretty quiet, silent. Wan-Bissaka had a great game. Shaw had a great. Well, I say great game comparatively speaking. But then the second half, it wasn't like a chore to watch because it was like a stalemate. It was a chore to watch because the quality was pretty bad from both teams. Like at one point, Carragher was audibly laughing at whoever the Leeds player was that tried to play it outside of the foot pass and it just went straight to someone else. Everything just seemed really bitty and bobbly. Like nothing would drop for anyone really. It was a very, very nothing game. But I mean, there's not really much more to say about it. All I'd say is that would have been the one game that Leeds would have like dined out on had they won, like beating United back at Ellen Road for the first time in how many years. So to not lose it, it's not the end of the world. Four points off on this season, and that is literally about as exciting as the game gets. Was there anything else?
I have nothing to add on that game.
I genuinely could sit here and just dig some players out and say that I'm just like Rashford. I just don't understand.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you what. So let's dig some players out for both sides. Actually, I'm going to dig a couple of Leeds players out. Actually, in this game, I'm going to praise a couple as well. I'm going to dig out Stuart Dallas. I thought he was awful today. Every pass that he tried to make was wayward. It was awful. There were so many opportunities where he could have just checked back and found a man inside, and he chose to try and find some Hollywood ball that went nowhere. And it was embarrassing considering how much praise he's been having of late as well, especially the City game of like he could pretty much control the game, scored a brace as well. He was awful today. Player I'm going to give some praise today to is Alioski. I thought he was brilliant defensively and going forward. He was someone who wanted to try and help. You know, he was doing all the right things defensively. He got a couple of blocks in as well, which, you know, they were going goal bound. He put a lot of effort into to make sure he was in the right place for that. And also going forward, he tried to offer something else as well, which I thought was quite impressive. Good free kick from Rashford as well. Yeah. Brilliant save from Meslier. Meslier is very chalk and cheese, isn't he? Because I genuinely think that he is going to be a world-class goalkeeper in the future. And when he makes mistakes in that, we need to remember he's 20.
Yeah, it's mad.
He's 20 years old. Do not expect world-class performances week in, week out from a 20-year-old goalkeeper. It doesn't happen. Even Donnarumma didn't do it. You know, De Gea didn't do that at the age of 20. You know, I think the only person that was doing it at the age of 20 was Neuer and Buffon.
I think let's
just calm on him and his time will come.
Just to counteract your praise for Alioski, I just want to dig him out as well. Number 10 playing left back. Don't care whether they sign him as a winger.
No, you know my thoughts. On that. But he doesn't always play left back.
Yeah,
so I'm semi-okay with it.
Right, so I'm going to dig out. Not so much dig out. I thought Rashford again. I say this every other week. It's Rashford and Greenwood. I'll let Greenwood off because he's young. But their decision-making, right? It's like whenever they should play a pass, they shoot. Rashford will get in the box and do 2 skill moves and a fake shot, and like it's FIFA. Like, just shoot the ball, man. Just have a shot. The amount of times like we get in the box and instead of crossing or passing or shooting, they end up doing neither and then lose the ball. And it's like, can someone just? I don't even care if it's not a great shot or whatever, but just a little something rather than just losing the ball every time. One player I will praise for United today, who I do think has last 5 or 6 games has been a bit questionable. I thought Wan-Bissaka today was unreal, man. He looked on it from minute 1, going forward, defensively. Mate, he was like pulling out skill moves and skinning players. And I was like, where is this? Like, he definitely wants to be at the Euros. Like, he was
front foot defending. He was definitely front foot defending. Because a lot of the times when we see Wan-Bissaka at the moment, it's so reactionary. And it's like, oh, he's putting a tackle. It's a great tackle that he's put on. It's like, well, you didn't need to make that tackle if he actually used a bit of footballing brain. And today I felt like he did have a bit of footballing brain. But I don't really have much more on this game over than that.
That's it. I mean, I would say I would go as far as to say, unless you gave it to Phillips for pretty much keeping Bruno quiet or Wan-Bissaka, but like a defensive player would have won man of the match today. And I don't even think Sky announced the man of the match because
it's bad when that happens.
Do you know what? Yeah, and I'm usually mad fuming about this, and I kind of was. 4 minutes of added on time, yeah? 93-22. Beep. Game over.
I didn't even notice that.
Mad. Right, so it wasn't 93-22, but it was definitely 93 something. It was about 30, 40 seconds left, and he was just like, yeah.
But let's be real. Didn't really need an extra 40 seconds.
I know. But that's what I mean. Normally, I'm mad. I hate that, but what does it matter in this game?
We're both sitting here praising Wan-Bissaka today, always getting likened to other right backs in the league, especially English ones. Trent, this game finished 1-1, Liverpool versus Newcastle. I'm sorry, I thought Trent was awful. Again.
Like, it's a crazy one, man. I mean, this is like the complete opposite of the Spurs thing when I said, like, what can you say about Kane because Spurs haven't been all that bad, but Liverpool, man, like, it just seems that because the collective have been terrible, like everyone's performances have been awful. Like even when Liverpool were bad, like they'd scrape games last season or the season before, like a few players would have bad games, but you'd have like Mane or Salah just dig them out of situations because they were. But everyone in this Liverpool team at the minute, they're just whether it's a confidence thing. I said it, called it at the start of the season when I said I think they're too shot. Playing at that intensity, that level for 3 years, fighting on all fronts for 3 years in a row, it's burnt them all out. And they all just look... There's no way they concede 2 goals in the 90-plus minute last season. There's no way. There's no way it happens. No. But this season, you just knew it. You just knew it. Even when the Wilson goal was disallowed, it was like something that like you still trust them to get something. I just... And I think that's what I mean. That's what I was getting at with Trent is... It's not even just that he's been bad. Like everyone around him hasn't been great either, and I just don't.
It makes me laugh because Mo Salah, that was his 20. So the goal scorer was Mo Salah. He scored after 3 minutes. The finish was absolutely bang on, by the way. And then Joe Willock, Arsenal loanee, of course, has his 4th goal now since joining Newcastle. That is, and he's on the score sheet. But I look at the Liverpool lineup, right? I haven't got a graphic for it, unfortunately, because I didn't think I was going to go down this route. But I look at this lineup, right? Alisson in goal. Back 4, as always. So you had Kabak and Fabinho as the 2 centre-halves, and then Trent and Robbo, of course. And then it was Thiago and Wijnaldum. And then they technically went with the front 4. And I like the idea of the formation, but you've got to make it work. Yeah. Newcastle are hitting a bit of form at the moment, so I ain't going to dig out Newcastle too tough right now. But it is still Liverpool Football Club. And it is still Anfield. They've had their run. They've had their drama. That's been dealt with now. That's been quashed. You are in control of this game for 90 minutes. There was no reason in the world for you to allow Newcastle to get back into that game. None whatsoever. Mo Salah, we can argue that he's not having a great season, but he still scored 20 goals in the Premier League. Where's Mane at? Where's Mane's contribution this season? Is he not feeling it? Is he not up for it? Is his confidence shot? Has he got his eyes turned? Why is Diogo Jota not starting more games when fit? He started this game, granted. But why? I don't understand what Firmino's doing. No, Diogo Jota.
Oh, Jota. I don't know, man. I mean, I always think Klopp's one of those managers that he's very loyal to his players. So even if Mane was having a bad game or 2, he wouldn't just bun him out for Jota. Like like Jota is still the backup to the front 3.
How does that help? You need to drop a player in order to kick him up the arse and be like, right, okay, we're not playing you this week because you weren't performing. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. Prove yourself in training. Go out there and graft. I want to see you when you're not starting. I want to see you warming up from minute 1. And you can tell the players that want that.
And this is even banter. This is like banter aside, and it's not because I'm a United fan. Yeah, can we literally just for a minute talk about how absolutely dire Thiago has been since he joined Liverpool.
Oh, gotcha.
World-class player at Barca, don't get me wrong.
World-class player
at Bayern. When even when they were rumoured to sign him, I was like, oh, God, please, no. Like, this is all we need. They've just won the league. We don't need this now. Absolute dog water. Like, every time he plays, it's almost a guaranteed booking, or 3 or 4 fouls minimum. He will find that Hollywood ball, but like 3 times out of 10 or something. Like, it's not... I honestly watch him and I'm so confused. And I know everyone says, well, it's because he's been played with this midfielder instead of this, and he's not been. But it's like, well, don't play him like that then. Like,
they're limited on what they can do because, like, we've said it a few times, and like, I'm not blaming the fact that they're missing Van Dijk. You know, that excuse that fell on deaf ears after 2 or 3 games. But what it is that when Henderson was fit and they were playing Henderson and Fabinho at centre half, there were technically 4 players down. Because they were playing those 2 at centre half, which means neither of them were in midfield, but then they're also missing 2 centre halves anyway. So when Henderson comes back, I can see. I'm friends with a lot of Liverpool fans. They all have conflicting ideas, but my own idea is this: in midfield, you play Henderson, Fabinho, and you play Thiago. And some Liverpool fans coming around to me going, oh, yeah, but you haven't got that number 10 or anything like that. Liverpool weren't playing with that when they just missed out on the league and won the Champions League. And they weren't playing that system when they missed out on when they won the league last season. You play 3 industrial midfielders. You've got 3 industrial midfielders there because Thiago does put in work. He does put in graft. But Thiago is also that one who can pick out one of those Hollywood balls, but so can Henderson. And then you've got Fabinho in there just chopping people, doing whatever they're doing. And if you don't play that formation, play those 3 in that midfield, you then go with Fabinho at centre half alongside Van Dijk, and then Naby Keita, a fit Naby Keita, can then play midfield because he's got the legs. So if you are playing a game where you need a bit more guile and graft in midfield, then that way it will work. But you can't be playing him. You can't play him in a 2 with Wijnaldum. That don't work. You can't play him in a 3 with Jones and Milner. That don't work either. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like they're demeaning him, and that's why we're not seeing the best of him.
Do you know what? Yeah, there was the one thing that I saw. I instantly got triggered the minute I saw it because I knew this would be the response, and then I dumb enough to go on Twitter and check. You know when St. Maximin's knocked the ball around Fabinho and he had no intention of winning the ball and just come into and absolutely clattered him. Now Fabinho's 6'4", built like a monster. Maximin's 5'7", whatever.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but you know what I mean. Just comes in clean, just wipes him out. No intention to play the ball, yeah. And I just knew what the response was going to be on Twitter. Liverpool fans like, yes, get stuck into him. Literally cry and sign petitions if that happens to their player.
Did you see Maximam's response to it?
Yeah,
though?
He put a funny tweet about it.
He is so sick on Twitter at the moment.
Yeah. Man. But that's what I mean. Like, how can you literally be like, get stuck into him? Yeah, that's what you want. Like, yes, Fabinho. But literally, if that happened the other way around, well, when it did, there's petitions and. Do you know what I mean? It's just as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is going to be one of them. But Newcastle, last minute goal. Newcastle under Steve Bruce the last few weeks have turned corners. They've stolen points.
Statue's coming, mate.
Yeah, well, it should
Steve Bruce statue.
What do you mean, statue? There already is a Steve Bruce statue. It's on the programme Art Attack, and it's that big grey head, and it looks just like it. In fact, did that have a northern accent as well? The head from Art Attack.
I think it did.
I think he might have done. Yeah, but Joe Willock again. I was sat with Stu, and Stu was like, Joe Willock. Joe Willock's come on the 82nd minute. Money on him to score the equaliser. He didn't put it on, but he did score the equaliser, and I was like, oh.
I'll tell you what was jokes about that, yeah. When he bagged that, he was so gassed. He wheeled off in so much elation and then almost like felt awkward because like, I ran towards Steve Bruce. Because he's probably he's like slapping his badge. And then he gets to see Bruce and he's but he mad slows down, doesn't he? He's like, cheers, mate.
I'm still at Newcastle, yeah. But that's Newcastle safe. That's Liverpool safe from relegation as well, I suppose. They've done all right this season to stave that off.
Not quite sure if these are safe from relegation, though. It's time for this.
What are Everton?
Friday night was the beginning of ruining my weekend, where Everton beat Arsenal by 1-0 with a fantastic goal from Richarlison. The way he celebrated that goal was fantastic, wasn't it?
I completely forgot I watched this.
Yeah, 40-yard screamer from Richarlison. Nice little dance in front of the capacity crowd at the Emirates. Mate, you didn't score. Why are you celebrating that way?
I mean,
you didn't fag.
To be fair, I'd be dancing in front of the goalkeeper as
well.
Man,
he cut that back. He cut that back. That was almost heading towards the penalty spot. But I don't know what Burnleyona was doing, man. That is bread and butter, man. I expect my daughter to save that, and she's 6 months old.
We said this right, and literally backs it up this weekend. We have said the last few weeks that I don't know if everyone's tired or whatever, but the quality of the Premier League games have kind of dipped, man. And you look,
and that's why you need to tune into MAD Sports on a Tuesday for an MLS show, because there's lots of excitement in the MLS.
but like, even this weekend, yeah. So this game was a long old slog, yeah, that had an own goal as the winner. Like the United Leeds game, 0-0. The Cup game was 1-0 in the 85th minute from a set piece. Like, I completely forgot I watched this because it was that much of a slog. This was like, it was just unbelievable.
Arsenal in control as normal and do jack all with it and get done by a crap goal. There was a bit of controversy in it with a penalty that was awarded to Arsenal. I don't think it was a penalty, but it wasn't given. The penalty was given, but then it was pulled back because there was an offside in the build-up. For me, there's no penalty, but that also wasn't offside.
No, right. So there was two situations there. So when they VAR'd it, I was like, "Oh, good, they're VARing it because he hasn't touched him. It's never a penalty." And then they were like, "Yeah, well, the contact's fine. Let's look at the offsides." And I was like, "Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean the contact?
About, bro?" What?
And then honestly, look, I think Arteta said something about the thickness of the lines or whatever. But they started drawing these lines, and I was just like,
do you see the original lines? They weren't even straight. It looked like, remember when you played against, was it Huddersfield in the FA Cup, and they drew some mad zigzags?
Yeah. Honestly, as soon as I saw how tight it was going to be in those lines, I was like, I can't be bothered with this.
Stop, like, now. Yeah.
That's not that, but that's not the worst thing. Is that's not even like top 5 worst decisions of the weekend, which is why it's like it's just getting to a point where what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we playing? What are we watching? There's going to get to an even worse one in a minute, and I genuinely think I'm going to have like another mental breakdown on air. Like, it's going to be horrible. But
if anyone wants to see a Steven Cotton aneurysm, it will be happening in a couple of moments' time.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
There's not much really to say about that. I mean, Arsenal, Everton, both very similar teams at the minute, where you don't know which one's going to turn up. They could.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, Everton are now scratching the top 4 situation, and I look at Arsenal. Right, Arsenal have dropped 4 points in the last 2 games. Get those. Arsenal, we're in the shout of the top 4 again. You know, we shouldn't be drawing against Fulham at home. And I'm not being funny. That performance, the performance, we shouldn't be. Let's be real, right? And then the performance against Everton was good apart from no end product. Arsenal fans, including myself, all going to be kicking off because why the hell was Martinelli not starting that damn game?
No idea, man. Honestly,
what's he got to do?
Know. I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously, I know Aubameyang's been ill and stuff, but obviously he's just not been at it at all this season. Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a game where it was like, well, we need to start Martinelli or at least see what, like, throw him in, that was the one. And for it not to happen, I just don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm done, mate. I'm done. I've already looked into season tickets at Posh. I looked at doing that. So sorry to piss off people like Sean and things like that. Because I know you're Northampton Town fans. Well, I'm not. I'm not paying 25 quid a ticket to go watch Northampton Town in League 2. And yeah, so I looked at season ticket for Posh and also looked at season ticket for MK Dons as well, because I'm a franchise guy like that. Right. Yeah. London Derby, West Ham versus Chelsea. Timo Werner, world-class Timo Werner, with a beautiful finish. To be honest, it was just a tap-in. But when you need those to go in when you're having a goal drought. But then in the second half, he does something similar. It was a Mason Mount strike, which Fabianski saved. It's come out to Timo. I thought it went out for a corner. I look at it again. That's bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to woo Sal already because I was having a great day, right? We're in the beer garden with the TV, so we're literally in the sun. I've literally been in the sun for about a few hours, so already I'm dying. I'm bright pink. Had a few beers, feeling all right. Werner scores, and I'm like, all right, it's kind of not what we wanted. I think we wanted a West Ham win. Everything is still fine. We're watching some football in the sun, and everything's going all right. Mm. And then a footballer has literally been sent off for kicking a football. Look, I don't want to hear. I genuinely don't want to hear any. Well, but the follow through when his foot was like he's literally what follow through. Look, he's literally kicked the ball and his legs up in the air. Like what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to not kick the ball? Is he supposed to vanish in thin air? Is he supposed to?
When he clears the ball, what he's meant to do is leave his leg in the air suspended until the ball
like
is gone and Chilwell has gone. Yeah, pretty much.
Or like do it and then quickly like moonwalk back, like moonwalk Richarlison like off the scene quickly. Like honestly, when I couldn't even believe it, and I knew it was going to be an issue when they were stalling for time and showing replays, and I was like, I almost tipped the table over in the beer garden. It was a big old table. I was like, no, and they're like, oh, they're recommending that he has a look at the monitor, and I was sat there like, guys, I'm going to go home. I'm just going to go home. These are two teams that I don't even care about, and this is going to ruin my weekend because a man has just literally been sent off for kicking a ball. And they kept showing the replays and slowing it down and like slow it down all you want. Give me a still frame of where his foot landed on him. Cool. Absolutely no context. Watch the thing in full speed, and the guy has literally kicked a football, and his leg has made contact with another player.
It's just when he's cleared it, and the camera like pans up to the pitch, and everyone's like, it's all right. But it's like, oh, sorry, mate, you're right. Like, which is, it's a human thing to do. You're right there, pal. And everyone's like, no one kicks up a fuss. That's what makes it funny as well. No one kicks up a fuss.
There hasn't been anyone defending this, have they?
They're forced him to go and have a look at that. Just look at it.
Yeah, no, literally that. And
I don't think Chris Kavanagh wanted to do that.
I don't think he did either. But he's been told to. And what's the
Can we hear it, please?
Yeah, what's the protocol? Is he allowed to turn down advice? Can he just say, "Well, no, I think I saw it" or whatever?
Well, this is the thing. This is why we want to hear it. I want to know what's going on. What's that conversation? I need to hear that conversation.
And even it was like, when something happens in your life and you don't believe you've seen it and you're genuinely like, I seen him show the red card and I was literally sat there. Fair enough, I was in an Amstel haze, but I was sat there and I was like, is this it? Is football done? Like, we've literally just had the week from hell where our dickhead owners have like tried to sell the soul of the club in the Premier League, and then I've literally still watched the product on a Saturday afternoon, and I've genuinely just seen a man get sent off for kicking a ball, and I was just like, this is.
I know we moan about it saying, it's the worst decision ever, and we can both be a bit exaggerational with things, me and you.
It's up there.
But is this genuinely the worst decision?
Do you know what? Yeah, if this was given in real time, and we got the replay. We got the replay, but the ref didn't. If this was given in real time, I could kind of say, okay, the ref might have seen the follow through, the follow through. But the fact that they have been given the chance to look at it several times on a replay and still come to this decision, I genuinely think it's up there with one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my lifetime. Could you
imagine if this was, let's say, for some random reason, Arsenal make it to the Europa League final, right? And obviously, we're going to be playing against you lot. We already know this. Well, and this decision happens
you lot to me means both teams anyway, so I'm all right. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Arsenal make the final against Steven Cotton FC. Yeah. And then this decision happens in the final.
Tell you off, mate.
I don't think I could watch any more of it.
Even if it was an Arsenal player,
that's what I mean.
I'd turn it off. Yeah,
even if it was in my favour, I don't think I could genuinely sit there and enjoy the rest of the spectacle.
And do you know what triggers me even more? Yeah, is the consistency. So that's not even a yellow card. That situation, right? Kevin De Bruyne today, Reguilon wins, gets the tackle, and De Bruyne has a shot and manages to kick Reguilon while he's on the floor.
Yeah, not even a free kick. Not a free kick, not a card.
Well, he's kicked him, hasn't he? I honestly, not that I wanted to get sent off, but
yeah, because he'd had the shot, hadn't he, and the follow through.
Yeah, it was like literally 20, not even 24 hours before the geezer's been sent off the exact same thing.
Sickening.
Like, to be fair, the game was probably done. West Ham weren't going to probably weren't going to get anything out of it anyway. But it doesn't matter. I don't care whether that happens in the first minute 0-0 of a Champions League final, or if that happens 90th minute when someone's 7-0 down. It's still just I can't even.
It's unbelievable, Jeff. It really is.
I'm genuinely proud of myself for how reserved I was about it. Well, if you can call that reserved, but I genuinely thought I was going to start
No, that was chill.
Again. But I just.
It's because you're a true professional, Steven Cotton. That's why.
Exactly. I just don't know what the product is anymore. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what fans are getting out of the sport anymore, because obviously, like I said, everything midweek, I don't want to harp on too much because they banged on about that all day. Even in the cup finals, all they spoke about. But so we've had that, and then all we want to do is all right, well, at least the football's back this weekend to take our minds off this situation, and just the decisions, the rules, the technology, it's all just awful.
I'll tell you what, let's lighten the mood then, and let's talk about the tiki-taka kings, the guys that created it all in the Northwest, and that's Burnley. Wolves 0, Burnley 4. I tell you what, right, I had great pleasure watching this game earlier.
Yeah, me too.
I really did, especially the fourth goal as well. Yeah, the Westwood goal, because of the Chris Wood layup, and it's just rife for that in the back stick.
Big dog in the house.
And it, damn, Tim Westwood, gangster.
Westwood, big dog.
Drop that bomb.
Big dog.
Recipe DMX. So, right, I want to talk about the first goal first of all.
Yep.
Because the first goal is very important, because we've got the Euros in a couple of months.
Yep.
And Chris Wood is from New Zealand.
Yep.
He's not very quick. He's not very mobile.
Yep. Oh, that's you being very polite as well. You're being very polite.
Yeah, professional.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be unprofessional.
Connor Cody.
What the fuck is Connor Cody doing?
Yeah, I mean, if we're saying that Chris Wood moves like a fridge, I mean, I don't know what to say about Connor Cody's situational movement, and you know what? Yeah, this performance from Cody backs up exactly what Gary Neville was trying to say the other week until Carragher tried to meme it. When Neville said losing Maguire would be more detrimental than losing Kane, because if we lose Kane, we've got Calvert-Lewin, we've got Watkins. If we lose Maguire, if we lose Maguire as well, who are you putting next to John Stones and Walker? There's not players you can really trust. And this Cody performance today, this stinky performance, really summed up. And do you know what? Me and you, we both put him in our season last year and stuff.
I like Connor Cody, but I'll tell you what, right? He's had a few stinky performances this season, and when you like someone, you will make excuses for them, and you'll be like, oh well, he was playing badly because he was playing in the back four. He doesn't normally play that, or he got sold out by X player or whatever. You'd always try and make an excuse to try and defend your narrative of that player. But Connor Cody today was stinky as hell. Honestly, if you saw the way he played in League Two, you'd be like, do you know what? Yes, you're a professional footballer, but you're a League Two footballer, so I get it.
Yeah.
But he's an England international. He's also wore the captain's armband in the Three Lions as well.
That's mad.
And he's putting out performances like that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to say about that at the time as well. But
yeah, we did.
Some of these Chris Wood finishes as well, man, were tasty. That first goal was such a nice little finish.
Yeah, it was laced it across goal as that as well. But I'll tell you what, the second one, was it Traore who got missold?
Probably because
and his nipped in. Was it McNeil swept in? And was it McNeil? I need to double check that because I don't like falsifying information, especially on top football.
His third one was obviously a massive power header, Love to see it. And then he got the assist for the Westwood goal as well, man. Like, that is the greatest game Chris Wood's ever going to have in his life.
It's the first hat-trick he's scored in 7.5 years as well.
And you know what? Yeah, toot my own horn, beep beep.
It was Dwight McNeil, by the way.
I said at the start of this season and got ridiculed when I said, even without Europa League, Wolves are really going to struggle in the league this year. They're not going to be... And I don't want to hear about missing Raul Jimenez, because missing Raul Jimenez doesn't make you defend like that. It doesn't make you defend like that. Like, they've kind of like run out of ideas. And, okay, like missing Raul Jimenez... Like, okay, the whole missing Raul Jimenez thing, yeah, they were trying to like defend Adama Traore in the game earlier. They were like, well, with no focal point, like there's no Raul Jimenez. Okay, so how come Adama Traore went like 45 games without a goal or an assist? They had Jimenez up front, then he was swinging in crosses to Jimenez then. So, like, it's just Traore's a bum, man. Like, he is very, very fast and he's very strong, but like other than that, I don't really know what to tell you. Wolves are one of those. You get one of these teams every single year where at this stage of the season they just want this season to end. They want to crawl over the line, regroup, get Jimenez back, maybe get some reinforcements in. I mean, yeah, they're missing Jimenez, but spending 40 million on an 18-year-old that can't hit a bandball or a banjo is not the move either. I love Nuno though, man. Like, it sounds really silly because I've just slagged off his team this season, saying his team hasn't been great. But Nuno's a good manager.
Yeah, but Nuno's a good manager. He can't work. He's just dealing with like the tools that he's got sometimes. But it's what winds me up, because I look at Arsenal and I look at Arsenal's players, and man for man, I don't think we've got a bad side. I've said this many times. We've actually got a half decent squad. A squad that should be doing a lot more. But then I look at tactical situations where you've got that wrong. Whereas Nuno, he can't really get it wrong because he hasn't really got the clientele to do it. Yeah. Like that move, that deal for Jota came at such a random time. It's like, well, I don't think we were actually expecting to sell him anyway. And we got 40 mil for him. That's great. But what's 40 mil going to how far is it going to take you in football nowadays? Unless they start digging around the Championship, do they really want to be doing that? I don't think so.
And you know, obviously, like heaping praise on, well, not heaping praise, but saying how much we rate Nuno. Like, mate, Sean Dyche needs some massive praise heaped on him. I've even campaigned for him to be like Sean Dyche for England.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the football Burnley played today; it was mental.
Burnley looked gangster, man. Honestly, Burnley looked like Barcelona, 100%. Barcelona, like 2009 to 2012, they were fly, man. Honestly, I've never seen Burnley perform like that ever. Even when they've been like 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 3-0 up, whatever, with like a couple of minutes to go, they're like, shut up shop. We ain't getting involved. And they were just knocking the ball around so sweet and smooth. And like Jack Court looked nice. Ashley Westwood bossed it. Matty Lowton. I've got a lot of time for Matty Lowton and a lot of time for Charlie Taylor as well. I think they're both really good fullbacks. And if they weren't playing for Burnley, we would be talking about England shouts and stuff for them. But, you know, they don't play for a big club. So it doesn't matter. Charlie Taylor, his left peg can whip. I'm not talking like Sosa levels from Stuttgart, you know, because he's a special talent, but he's got a good peg and he's got energy. He's got a very good engine. So why not? I don't understand why one of the bigger clubs aren't looking at him, put it that way. And he would be able to start for a couple of teams that are in the top half in particular. Like,
they why might not be for all we know, to be honest. Like,
well, very true. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how old he is, so that might play a part. Charlie Taylor, Burnley. How old is he? He is fair. He's 27. He's going to be 28 later on this year.
Okay.
That's still 2-3 years, isn't it? Still 2-3 years. And then the final game was Sheffield United picking up a vital victory, like it means anything, against Burnley, and David McGoldrick with more goals than Martial this season.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Oh, I was hoping for a bigger nibble.
No. I had this conversation in one of the WhatsApp groups earlier, like where one of the lads posted the Martial Everton goal in the FA Cup like a few years ago. I was just like, don't care, man. And he was like, yeah, come on. I was like, no, I'm done with him. Like, so no nibblies here. McGoldrick. I'll tell you what, there was a really good picture, Sheffield United, and it was a really old tweet. And it was when Brewster was still playing for Liverpool, and they were like, "Wow, he's got more goals this season than Rashford." Like 3 games in, like 2 years ago, whatever it was. Rhian Brewster's Premier League record this season, yeah? Appearances, 24. Goals, none. Assists, none. Next.
Yeah. Sounds like Dominic Solanke, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
he is Dominic Solanke Mark too. Honestly,
listen, we all know my views on Sheffield United spending that amount of money on a young, unproven player like that. Is just absolutely.
Yeah, they also spent a lot of money on Aaron Ramsdale. He kept a clean sheet. So where's the respect?
Yeah, true.
No, that respect it means nothing because like I'll tell you, he's a little rat. Neil Mopai.
Yeah, always.
And I want to like him.
Nah,
I've always wanted to like him because when he was doing bits of Brentford, I liked him.
I'll never forget when he did that celebration against United, and then we beat him in the night after the game had ended. Like, where you cry,
spit that in your pipe.
I can't stand him. I honestly can't. Well, and I don't think he's a good player either.
He tried to get ag with Ramsdale when he put that sitter over the bar.
He tries to get ag with everyone, man.
I don't understand why.
No. But that was like today when Højbjerg got mad aggy at Reguilon because Højbjerg played a terrible overlapping pass in the box.
Yeah, why did he overlap that, by the way?
And he was like, Reguilon, like, what are you doing, you muggle? And it was just like, that's on you,
it's like, bruv. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not on me, fam. But this
Brighton
game, once again, 17 shots on goal, 4 on target, which, once again, these are, I can't remember what it was in a WhatsApp group or something like that. It might have been in the Football Dugout Telegram group, but we called Brighton the XG merchants.
Oh God, yeah.
But
like XG, what do you XG? Yeah, is all well and good, but in that XG, there should also be another equation. It's like XG minus Welbeck / Mopai equals. Like, you can have all the XG you want in the world. When those are your two strikers, like what? Like, no, literally, there's no point in XG.
Indeed. That's that on that. What were you going to say?
I was going to say just a few little bits. If you had both teams to score a penalty in the first half in Aston Villa West Brom, we will be round to search your hard drive.
Yeah, we'd be coining it in, especially West Brom
been
to
hundreds
equalise
or something to one.
Oh, easy.
So Stu just sent me this, right? And obviously, I literally just spoke about this, and this is my big annoyance this year. But a new low in La Liga timekeeping, 4 minutes added on at the end of Sevilla Granada. Referee blows at 93:04. He's now trying to restart the game, but all the Sevilla players have left the pitch. Never seen this before. A couple of players are sat on the touchline, putting their boots and shin pads back on, and the game has now ended for a second time. No more goals in those 57 seconds. But I'm not totally sure about the laws outside of a VAR review. Can you restart a game like that?
If the final whistle is gone, the final whistle's gone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Unless
there's the situation for a penalty and stuff, which
that's garbage. That is, man.
Oh my God, that's awful.
That's so bad.
Right, there's a couple of minutes left. I was going to go through a couple of the comments. Simon James said about being burned out in 2 seasons. That's what we are. That's Liverpool. I assume that is. Don't know what that other one was. Erhan said Leno is a typically overrated Bundesliga product. I know he's looking for a nibble from me on the Bundesliga front there.
I gassed off Leno for the hardest time, man. I thought he was so good, and he's just had some bad times, man. He's had some Karius. No, yeah, let's not forget Karius was quite hyped from the Bundesliga as well. Like,
yes, he was. Yeesh. Yes, he was. So yeah, I want Stefan Ortega anyway from Arminia Bielefeld. That's what I want.
Hey, Donnarumma's going on a free at the end of this season, man.
Banter when he does go to Everton. Unai's Wadger said, I'm a Spurs supporter and I made a promise not to support Spurs anymore.
You can't. I
replied to that. Don't blame me. Unfortunately, stuck for life with these fools. That's the issue. Once you're stuck, ain't you? But you can distance. You can distance yourself. No issue with that.
Again, man, they got to a cup final and their problem was they came into a cup final against a Pep Guardiola team. That's it.
The last 2 cup finals they've reached is a Pep Guardiola City and a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool.
Yeah,
and they lost both of them.
Oh yeah, and then what? The League Cup against Chelsea in 2015 was it?
Yeah, a Mourinho Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. Like, I know it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to the Spurs fans, but like, if the minute you get in a cup final against a Pep team, it's like put an asterisk next to it. Like,
it could have been a Steve Bruce Birmingham side.
You've won by default. Yeah, you've won by default. Like, yeah, oh my God, Obafemi Martins, it was the easiest goal I ever scored. Oh, what a guy. What a
guy. I do like him though. I'll give him that. But yeah, that's it for Top this week. Back on Wednesday with the Bundesliga show. So of course, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Top Football. Make sure you hit that like button, like, share, subscribe, all that jazzmatazz. Thank you everybody for your comments, questions, queries, etc., etc. It's always a pleasure interacting with you guys, watching us. But if you weren't aware already, if you put Top as Google, our name comes up first, which is pretty damn shiny. So that's it from myself, Gav Mack, boy Steven Cotton, big man, little man, two up top. Southgate.
See you later. Southgate out.